Let's call this the commitment graph. And let's call this the capability graph. Okay. Now you'll see 4 types of people in your team. First, low capability, low commitment. Okay. Low capability, low commitment. This, let's just say, call this person a C player. Typically, the solution with the C player is 1 or 2 attempts of developing capability and commitment. No reciprocation from their side. Please fire them. Okay, please fire them. And if you've done your bit of trying to mentor, trying to teach, trying to coach, and they've not reciprocated, fire them guilt-free. See, I know some of you are such nice people that you keep such people for the rest of your life and feed them because you're thinking, बिचारे का क्या होगा? तुम बिचारे बन जाओगे, वो बिचारा नहीं बदलेगा. So if you've done your input and there's no reciprocation, they're not made for you. You know, sometimes feeding a incapable person is actually doing injustice to that person. You're making them used to free lunches in life. Okay? Then you have the second type. The second type is low capability again. They're lower on the capability graph, but they're higher on the commitment graph. This is the person you leave your blank check with. Okay? So I call this person a B commitment person. Then you have a third type. This is high on capability, gets the job done. Low on commitment. Doesn't listen to you, doesn't follow instructions, doesn't come to office on time, doesn't fill in reports, doesn't talk to colleagues with respect. And to get work done from him, it's like having a useless son-in-law. Manwar karna padta hai. Kar le, acha hai, ye wo types. Right? So, this is your B, but capable, results person. Now I'll tell you the dilemma. The dilemma is, इसको निकाल नहीं सकते क्योंकि इससे प्यार है. इसको निकाल नहीं सकते क्योंकि इसकी जरूरत है. He is my need. He is my romance. Right? This is the challenge. Typically, 70% of your team falls into this category. 70% of your team. Some commitment, some capability. And I'll tell you also, the ratio changes based on your personality. Which means what? If you are a soft, loving, this company is my family, majority of your team is this. If you are a भाड़ में जाए जनता, अपना काम बनता, okay? काम करोगे तो ठीक, नहीं करोगे तो गाली दे के काम करवाऊंगा, then majority of your team is this. Like attracts like, na? Your personality breeds your kind of people. Simple as that. Now, you have 20% high capability, high commitment. रोज इनके पैर धो के ऑफिस में सबको सर्व करना चरणामृत. Because these are your superheroes. These are your A players. Now I'll tell you what to do with each category. This one, firstly, acknowledge them. Express gratitude. अच्छा कर रहे हो. Okay? And I'll tell you why that is so important. There was a study that I did amongst my clients, okay, where I asked them, I have about 3,000 plus MSMEs, one-to-one coaching clients. I picked about 200, 300 of them. And I asked them, did you have A players who left in the last 1 year? I said, yeah. Reached out to them, did a little survey. Why did you leave? You were performing well, you were given responsibility. Number one reason, till the day I put my papers down, I was not appreciated and told I'm good. And by the time I had made my decision, then the boss was like, तुम तो अच्छे हो, क्यों जा रहे हो? तुम्हारे बिना हम कैसे चलेंगे? Like, इतने साल बोला तो नहीं आपने मैं अच्छा हूं. Okay? So number one reason was lack of acknowledgement, lack of recognition. Okay? These people acknowledge. Second, these people elevate. Make them leaders. Make them leaders and mentor them on how to lead. Because I'll tell you what happens. These guys, when they become leaders, there's a very beautiful phase of new leaders. I'm sure you would have experienced it. How many of you have ever promoted a person as a manager and expected them to manage people, but instead of managing people, they're doing now everybody's work on that team by themselves? I'll repeat that. How many of you have experienced this? You promoted someone as a manager, but instead of managing people and getting the work done, They're doing the work of everybody they are supposed to manage. And when you tell them, why are you doing the work? Sir, मैं कर रहा हूँ ना, आप टेंशन क्यों लेते हो? आप बेफिक्र हो, मैं कर लूँगा. Okay? They have not changed the image in their own mind and heart कि मैं अब leader हूँ. मुझे अब काम करवाना सीखना पड़ेगा, काम करना नहीं. So you'll have to elevate them as leaders and also mentor them on how to lead, because nobody is born with that capability. So this is what you do with your A players. Acknowledge, elevate. Clear? Now what do you do with your B? Be capable. This is the chunt kind of people. These are the kind of people who every day you wake up and say, ab kya kiya isne? Right? But before you walk into that meeting with that person, you have to manage your emotions saying, nahi nahi dhanda la raha hai, chup karke pyar se baat karo. Right? Now, this guy, this person, what do? Number one, you give credit where it's due. Give credit. You're doing well, your results are good. And then after you give credit, you give a challenge. What do I mean by give a challenge? See, the guy who's capable and is not committed has an ego. Agree? How do you develop a guy who has an ego? You don't develop a guy who has an ego by saying, surrender to my mentoring. He has an ego. You develop a guy who has an ego by challenging him, saying, okay, listen, your results are great, but you know what? There's only one thing that's stopping me from pushing you to the next level. Your commitment level. You are not making reports. How can I give you a team? How will you get reports done from the team if you are not giving reports? You are not coming on time. How can I give you a team? How can I elevate you in your career? You are your biggest enemy right now. You challenge them with a next level challenge. तुम ये कर पाओगे? अब जो बंदा रिजल्ट लाता है, तुम उसको चैलेंज कर रहे हो. Can you do this? If you can, I am here with you. You will see from Ravan he'll turn into Shri Ram. Full compliance. That's the only way to develop these people. Because you're giving them credit where it's due. You know what is the approach most of us use? Even though they are capable in producing the result, in our head we are like, if I appreciate him, na, aur sar pe chad jayega. He's already a problem. If I appreciate him, he will sit and dance on my head. But I'll tell you, if you don't give them credit, then they have facts that they are producing results. And you are trying to go and poke a hole in their ego saying, मैं इसका ego तोड़ूंगा. भाई, ego वाले बंदे को तोड़ो मत. उसको अलग challenge दो. Right? You do that. This, if you try to break his ego, it becomes a battle. It's a battle. You give credit and you challenge that. I'll give you a simple analogy. This is what Dhoni did when he took over as captain. How many of you remember when Dhoni took over as captain, the Indian team was in shambles. Like they'd lost the 2007 World Cup, lost to Bangladesh, lost to Sri Lanka, didn't even qualify for the quarterfinals. They came back to India. Greg Chappell was fired. Ganguly was evicted from captaincy before the World Cup. Rahul Dravid came back and said, मुझे नहीं बनना captain. Sachin said, captain बनाओगे मैं retirement announce करूँगा. नहीं बनना captain मुझे. So the board was like, किसको दे? And the team's morale was so low and broken because you saw protests across the street, all of that happening, ki what kind of a team we have. The board actually didn't care too much. They said, अगला जो भी आएगा, बेचारे को problem में डाल रहे हैं, अब किसका career we can destroy and it won't hurt us. रांची से एक लड़का है, धोनी उसको दे दो. If you understand the trajectory of Indian cricket, Yuvraj was considered the future star of India more than Dhoni when both of them were contemporary players. But Yuvraj was not given the captaincy because the board didn't want to risk a star's career. They said it's a screwed up team. Let them go one more level down. They made Dhoni the captain. He came from Ranchi. Ranchi didn't have a stadium when he was the captain. You know what's the first thing he did? He had a team of this capable people, not committed. Sehwag used to not go for practice. Sachin used to say, "Tum mujhse practice karo aage beta." Right? He had this team. You know what he did? The first thing he did was this. He went to every single senior player and said, without you, I can't do it. I need you on my side. Sounds weak. Only a person who's strong can ask for help. A weak person tries to show they are strong. He got them on their side. He said, it's a challenge. I need your support to rebuild this team again. From there, he earned the respect and built a team of A players. He's a classic leader, right? Now with these, give credit and challenge. This I told you. Teach, they don't learn, fire. With this, again, give credit for commitment. Tell them how much you trust them. But at the same time, tell them that they have to contribute. And for them to contribute, they have to become more capable. Now you provide the support for training, mentoring, coaching, whatever, to make them capable. Now I'll tell you, here's what you'll realize. When you start providing the support for making them capable, this is where you'll realize who are truly committed and who are conveniently committed. You know what is convenient commitment? सवाल नहीं पूछ रहे तो मैं प्यार दूंगा. But the day you start challenging them and you're supporting them, you're saying, I'm teaching you, I'm mentoring you, I'm training you, I'm doing this for you. Reciprocate, learn. Now if they start showing, we can't learn, I can't change, then is that person truly committed? No. Then what do you do with that guy? Ikki topo di salami, fire. And I'll tell you, this shakes up a lot of teams, especially established businesses. Because established businesses have one superhero business owner, बाकी सब यही है. They'll proudly say, हम 10 साल से सर के साथ है, 15 साल के सर के साथ है, 20 साल से सर के साथ है. 20 साल में सर का कौन सा काम तुमने किया है ये बताओ. वो तो सर करते हैं, हम तो तालियां बजाते हैं. ये तो ताली बजाने वाले हैं. Right? So I want you to understand. They will participate in your ghar ki Ganpati puja, they'll do flower decor in Diwali. That's not their job role in the office, but they'll do that for you. But please start realizing, if you have to move people, and I'll tell you one other big blunder a lot of businesses do. They make these people managers, and then they hire younger people who actually are more capable below this guy. And that guy is like, ye manager hai, damager hai. Right? Now, are they willing to get their egos challenged by someone who actually has technical capability? No, they are not. Then they'll come and tell you, sir, our sari gilla, sir. Not like us. They'll come and feed your ears. Nowadays, no commitment, sir. I'm telling you, please dissect your teams. All I'm saying is this, objectivity is important. Objectivity comes when there's clarity in your intent. I'm not asking you to do a use and throw philosophy with anyone. I'm asking you to be fair. I'm asking you to be giving, supporting, but know where to draw the line and treat people differently. My mentor asked me this in my very early stages as an entrepreneur. He said, Rajiv, fill in the blanks. Fairness is treating people dash. And I said, fairness is treating people equally. He said, wrong. Fairness is treating people differently. If I treat all these four equally, I am unfair. I need to treat each one based on what they deserve.